YouTube, this is Frugal and this is Dovetail Games Flight School, which is obviously Dovetail Games Flight School, the precursor to the next big sim, the successor to Microsoft Flight Simulator, actually using the same technology as the next big sim, Dovetail Games Flight Simulator. I did a first impressions on this some time ago and two things came out of that. One, I don't know what I'm doing. People pointed out that the realism settings I had were wrong. And sure enough, they're wrong. Now that's because it's actually a little bit tricky. Let's go and look at it here. Auto mixture off. That's correct, right? Hang on. Let's put this into the realism settings. We'll put it into hard and see what all the sliders do. Okay, great. So random flight failures are off. Auto mixture is off. Unlimited fuel is off. Stress damages engine is on. Good. So general flight model is up to the right, P factor is up to the right, torque is up to the right, gyro is up to the right, and then crash tolerance is up to the right. So actually my settings here actually look okay, but apparently in the first video they were wrong. The second thing that came out of that video is, and surprising to me, a number of you wanted to see me complete the lessons. Oh, I hoped to just go back to the settings menu there, but apparently that takes me back to the main menu. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my controls. I'm using a Cytec X56, not because I'm sponsored, because I'm not sponsored. I actually like it. So I'm using the X56. I'm going to go ahead and set up the controls here. If this is something you've not seen before, you might want to stick around for this bit. If you have seen this bit before, just skip forward like 5-10 minutes and we'll be good. But anyway, let's go ahead and set up my controls. I have here a throttle. So we'll choose the throttle, okay? And I need to, oh gosh, it's so confusing. I need to go into the throttle here, unbind this Dovetail. It might be sensible to look at the name of the controller. If it contains the word throttle, you probably don't want to bind ailerons and elevator to it. But anyway, let's scroll down here and we'll find somewhere the engine, the throttle axis. Oh gosh, everything is all bound up here. Delete joystick assignment and throttle axis. Let's change that to that one. Great. So that's all bound up. Now I need to go ahead and do it on my, let's make sure nothing else is in here all set up. That's good. I need to go ahead and do my rudder pedals, which is my MFG crosswinds. So here's my crosswinds, my rudder axis here. I'm going to double click it and we'll start moving that. That's all good. And there should be brake axes here because it's basically Microsoft Flight Simulator underneath the covers. There's one. That's all good and it should be inverted. And there's the next one. And that should be inverted. But apparently clicking invert means it's not inverted. What? Hang on. Now it's in, oh god. Alright, so there's my y-axis. Which, my goodness. Now it's inverted. Not off to a good start here, are we? Oh my gosh. Inverted. Inverted.
3 days later.
Alright, so here we are. We're going to do lesson number 4, turns to headings from White Waltham in our light aircraft pilot training plan. Now that you're able to fly at a steady altitude and speed, we'll move on to the fundamental skill of being able to turn while maintaining a constant speed and altitude, which is actually very, very tricky in a sim because you have no feeling in the seat of your pants. Remember, the steeper you turn, the quicker your speed will drop. Keep an eye on your airspeed throughout this lesson. Here we go.
You're catching on quickly.
I am.
Of course, in order to actually fly somewhere, you need to know the next fundamental maneuver,
which is turning. Incidentally, I'm recording this at 4K, and I have the graphics maxed out.
Your goal in this lesson is to turn to the headings I specify while maintaining 90 miles per hour, 2,000 feet.
At 2,000 feet. So I'm surprised to see all those anti-aliasing jaggies there.
In the center right of the bottom row of the instrument panel.
Gotcha.
To turn, you'll move the stick left or right
to bang the wings in the direction
you want to go.
Simple enough.
Be sure to keep an eye on your altitude. The steeper you
There's my altitude right there, 2,000 feet.
Will want to drop.
Or 200 feet.
Ready to give it a go?
That's 2,000 feet.
Okay,
I'm ready.
You have control.
Thank you. What am I going to do? Whoa. I didn't
move the stick left to start banking left.
We'll go left. 30 degrees of bank. Around we go.
Keep turning until you reach a heading of 270 degrees, or west.
Or west. So we'll keep turning about 30 degrees, going to bring it all the way around to 270. Surprisingly, there goes the vertical speed. We're going to pull the nose up a little bit there. Try to maintain the same altitude. Airspeed is coming down, but not very much. Here we go on the west. We're going to roll out before the heading.
Exactly 270.
Which puts us not there. Oh my gosh.
There. That wasn't difficult, was it?
Well, actually, it was.
Let's try another one.
Okay. Another.
Turn right. And head east.
To
That's
090.
Or 090.
Not using the rudder right now, which is odd.
Maintain 90 miles per hour.
But in a flying lesson, your early flying lessons, you wouldn't use the rudder either.
Descend back down to 2,000 feet.
Your instructor would typically manage that until you get onto the lesson for coordinated turns. So I'm dropping my altitude back down here. Let's lower the nose here. This is a lot more fun and a bit more challenging than the other lessons I did, which makes it enjoyable. East went a bit too far. We'll bring it back.
Excellent. You're getting the hang of this. Let's try something slightly more precise.
Turn right to a heading of 175.
Turn right to a heading of 175 degrees.
Okay. We'll do that. So 30 degrees of bank. Let's bring that nose down a little bit, please. There we go. Around to 175, which is just to the left of south. So we'll start rolling out a little bit earlier this time.
And here's 175 degrees.
I know.
You're a quick learner.
I am. Thank you so much.
Now you know how to turn.
Now we know how to turn.
Just bank in the direction you want to go.
And hold the nose up to maintain your altitude. Awesome. Great. That wasn't so hard at all. I passed. If you've never flown before, I can see that being quite a challenge, honestly. And that really is the purpose of this whole sim. A little bit surprised to see all the jagged lines, since I am filming this at 4K. But anyway, and the performance felt a little bit low. But even so, we'll move on to the next lesson. In this video or the next one? Let's do it this video. So we'll do 2 lessons per video, I think. Continue. Approach and landing. Oh, this one actually sounds a little bit tricky. So hang on a minute. We did takeoff, straight and level, climbing and descending, turning to headings. Now we're gonna land. Okay. All right then. An important skill to master is smooth landing, or landings in general. You should treat the aircraft with respect during the entire phase of descent to touchdown. You'll need to be one step ahead of the aircraft at all times, which is the strangest thing anybody ever says when flying an aircraft. Because if you think about it, if you're one step ahead of the aircraft, you're actually outside of the aircraft and falling groundward. But anyway, you will need to set up the aircraft for landing, maintain your rate of descent by controlling power, lowering flaps, and so on, and so on, and so on. Here we go.
White Watson radio, Cub Golf Delta Lima, downwind for runway 25, full stop.
All right.
Okay, you have control.
Thank you. Runway 25.
1,000 feet, 70 miles per hour, and a heading of 090 degrees.
1,000 feet, 70 miles per hour.
Ready to return to Earth?
Yes.
Believe it or not, you've already learned everything you need to know to land.
How spectacular!
You just need to put it all together. I'll walk you through it.
Thank you.
We'll land on that runway, just off the left wing.
Not very helpful. That runway. The one by the trees.
Good job holding heading, airspeed, and altitude.
Thank you. I'm a little bit high, actually. See if I can
First
trim
we'll
this.
start descending. Then we'll make a left turn all the way around to line up with the runway.
Okay.
The secret to making a good landing is a stable approach. Remember, set the throttle control and leave it alone. Use pitch to control airspeed.
Gotcha. Pitch for airspeed, throttle for rate of descent. And we're climbing. Let's go down a little bit here. And I can't trim. I am pressing the trim nose down button and nothing is happening. But okay.
Alright, it's time to start descending to the runway.
Oh gosh, windy bit.
Reduce power to 1400 RPM.
I will.
And lower the nose a bit.
Lower the nose. With a long pronounced
one notch of flaps.
Okay, so I actually have a control set up for the flaps. I'm going to try it out right about now. Didn't work.
And lower the flaps a notch.
Okay, lower the flaps a notch. I did lower the flaps a notch. Nothing happened.
I'll lower the flaps for you.
Yeah, you do that, because nothing's happening.
Now leave the power at 1400 RPM.
All right.
And trim for 55 miles per hour.
Heck of a nose balloon there as the first stage of flaps came down.
Now turn left to 340 degrees.
340 degrees.
Be
Roger
sure
that.
to maintain 55 miles per hour.
55 miles per hour. Which means if we can maintain 55 miles per hour using our pitch, we will be on the appropriate rate of descent, which is actually a little bit more than I've currently got going on right now. 340 degrees. Let's try to get in 30 degrees of bank. because he didn't tell us how hard to bank, and if you take your time banking, you will overshoot the runway dramatically. There's 340.
And now start watching the runway.
What runway?
Our next turn will be to line up for landing.
I can't even see the runway.
That's right. You can tell you're lined up properly when the runway appears straight up and down compared to the horizon.
I can't look over there. I haven't set up my view controls. Completely my problem. But all the same. And we're going down.
Go ahead and turn towards the runway.
Which is 250
runway heading is 250 degrees.
So 30 degrees of bank. Around we go. Maintaining 55. A little bit under that right now. So 30 degrees of bank. Around it, there it is. I feel extremely high up. My goodness. Okay, a lot more speed downwards.
Go ahead and lower the flaps to 20 degrees.
I can't. Your buttons don't work. F8. No.
I'll lower the flaps for you.
And I appreciate that because
now
I'm
adjust pitch and power to maintain 50 miles per hour.
hurtling groundward at an incredible rate of speed because, well, there was no guidance at all on where I should be.
Fast.
I am.
Adjust power to maintain 55 miles
Well, I
per
can't,
hour.
otherwise we're not landing
From here,
today.
watch the numbers on the runway. Fly right at them.
I did.
Pull the power back to idle.
It is.
Maintain 50.
Has been
and
for a
keep
while.
Those numbers motionless on the windscreen.
The
Slowly
numbers are
raise the
completely
nose
gone.
until we settle onto the runway.
There are no numbers. We're going to settle onto the runway now. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it?
Use rudder to stay on the runway center
I
line.
will use the rudder to stay on the runway center line. Here he goes. Rudders are working at least. That's fabulous. Can I brake? Does braking work? No. Okay. Alright then. We'll just proceed down the runway thusly. Good! I now know how to land and scare the snot out of everybody on board the aircraft and on the ground. Excellent work. Achievement unlocked. I can't brake.
Good. Turn off the runway to the left and come to a stop.
Well, hang on, because if I turn off the runway to the left, that is actually turning on to the runway to the left. In this case, runway, I'm guessing 11. So let's do that then. That's what the instructor said, right? Exit the runway, onto the nearest runway, and come to a stop. Now, I know I'm going to get some comments saying I'm awfully down, I'm awfully negative towards Dovetail Games Flight School. Listen, for what it does...
Good. Stop here.
I can't. The brakes aren't working. Oh, there we go. Now they are working. For what it does, which is introducing new simmers to the world of simulation, is fantastic. It's a beautiful product. Love it. However, it's lacking in a number of areas. For example, if you're going to do interactive flying lessons, you really should be paying attention to what the aircraft is doing, right? You really should say to the Muppet flying, look, dude, you're too high, or you're too low. And I got none of that throughout the intro to that lesson. I had no guidance at all on my rate of turn. So I guess, while it's neat, and if I were completely new to this, I would have failed the lesson. I'll go and do it 50 more times until I figure out exactly where I need to be on each stage of the lesson. It's a little bit lacking in that respect. However, as I said, if you are completely new to simulation, this is the focus of this product. Dovetail Games Flight School. This is the focus. Doing these lessons, going to school. And that's the enjoyment and the fun. Anyway, that's all I've got for this time. We will be back. We will finish these lessons and move on to the next ones and then the next ones after that. As always, my name is Frugal. Thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you all very soon.